Was addressed by the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, the Honourable Buti Manamela, as well as the CEO of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, Mr. Selo Hadang. But here to tell us more about the wonderful work that the organisation is doing is Mr. Thabiso Chauke, the organisation's board member, chairperson, as well as the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture in Limpopo, Ms. Onika Moloi. Very good morning to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Alicia.
Good morning.
Good morning to the viewers at home.
All right, maybe MEC, let's start with you. What is your role in the campaign? Tell us a bit about your involvement in this campaign.
Yes, I'm a board member. I was invited by the chairperson. He saw my work on social media, the work that I'm doing in Limpopo on the Talitakum Girls Network. And he invited me to come and assist in terms of the mobilization of school shoes. And I joined them around September, October last year. And I've been a board member, but also a central part in terms of the mobilization of school shoes, especially in the province of Limpopo.
Thabiso, you are the board chairperson. Why did you feel the need to start such a campaign?
Well, there's a serious need for us to actually embrace such a campaign because its major objective is to ensure that the children of our country do not go to school barefooted. Across provinces, it's a reality that some of us can be really oblivious to. But we know that there are a number of, in fact, millions of school-going children who continue to go to school barefooted, miles and traveling miles and miles on the road, sometimes under the most terrible weather conditions. So it is therefore important for us to start such an organization to ensure that as citizens of this country, we play our part, and hence why the idea came about. But of course, most importantly, it came about with the fact that I myself underwent some serious and difficult circumstances. And that informed part of the reasons why we have started such an organization.
MEC, I mean, most of us that come from rural areas or know people that stay in rural areas, just how rife is a problem of children going to school without school shoes?
It's very rife, especially in the province of Limpopo, where I come from, that the issue of school shoes to a poor family is not a priority. The priority is that a kid must go to school. The priority is that there must be bread on the table, and many other priorities that a school shoe is not one of them. So that is why we feel that it's important that in as much as government can do all the rest of providing free basic education to the poor and making sure that there's school nutrition program. But for us to have that quality education, a child must have school shoes on their feet.
Absolutely.
And you've heard the story about a young girl last time, that how embarrassed she was and humiliated. The fact that she has to go to school with shoes with holes. And that is really something that will make you cry. So that's why we're saying that we have to do this, South Africa. It's a small gesture that you can do, but it's very, very much big for a girl in Limpopo, a girl in KZN who a school shoe to them is a luxury.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thabiso, tell us a bit about your beneficiaries. And we understand that the organization is barely a year old, but you've already, done such a great job across the provinces in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, within 12 months of our existence, we have spread across 3 provinces and really touched over 1,500 beneficiaries.
Wow.
In Limpopo, in KZN, in Gauteng. So we continue to do so because it is critical that we play our part as citizens.
How do you identify your beneficiaries, Thabiso?
Well, at some point we are guided by the Department of Social Development in that particular province, and they give us names of those who are less fortunate. So that would be one of the first aspects. But on the second aspect is that as board members, we of course are from certain provinces. We know which areas are in need, and then we'd identify those areas, we inform the board, and then we take a decision of how do we roll out school shoes in that province.
MEC, how has the project been received so far, particularly to the beneficiaries? I mean, I was at the event and I heard the moving stories that were told by some of the very grateful beneficiaries there.
In Limpopo, it's received very well, as you've been asking, Thabiso, so that we also work with traditional leaders. So it's received very well, and you realize that the need it's more. And people just get excited. Like your heart will just break, Alicia, when you see that young girl receiving a pair of school shoes, and you just wish you can at least have 1,000,000 at that point and make sure that every school-going child has that school shoe. So Yeah, it's been received very well across the provinces that we've already visited, and other provinces where we have not been. People are saying, when are you coming to Northern Cape? When are you coming to Free State? And we have said, yes, Hanagu.
So the initiative is to basically raise 1 million school shoes or more. Is that what we're going for here, Tabis?
Absolutely, we are going for 1 million children in our lifetime as the board. So absolutely, it means that
Are we stopping at 1 million? Are
No.
we continuing? Are we bringing in uniforms? Are we bringing in new aspects? What's going to happen?
Of course not, but our primary focus at the moment is school shoes. And then we are not stopping even after 1 million. That continues. But once we reach 1 million, we'll say to ourselves that really we have made our mark in society. But of course, then it will go beyond that. Yes.
Now, MEC, talk to us about, I know that Sello Hadang did announce that the Nelson Mandela Foundation will be now taking you as part, as their baby. Aren't those good news? Tell us what that relationship is going to do for such a campaign.
It will go a very long way. You know, the Nelson Mandela Trust, it's very big. It's known across the world. It's going to give us a mileage more than anything, and it's going to make it a point that we get more shoes. But more than anything, the fact that he said next year during the Nelson Mandela month, 1 million school shoes is going to be adopted as one of their projects.
Yeah.
It was like, we said, because that for us is like, we're going to have more shoes for us, more shoes for us.
Absolutely.
It's very exciting. It means we can touch more, poor children of our country. So we're very excited to partner with such a very big initiative of the Nelson Mandela Trust caliber.
Let's talk about your current partners. Where are you getting the support from currently, Tabis?
Absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, I must thank South Africans across who've been really supportive towards our project, because we could not be where we are had it not been because of them. But I think more importantly, we've been having partners like the Thornburn Technical Solutions, head by Thabang Moropa, who's been our great sponsor by far. At our gala dinner, we had a platinum sponsor, which was Anglo Gold Ashanti. Anglo American came on board, Sanlam came on board, Aspen came on board. So we've had a number of sponsors that came on board to support our initiative.
And MEC, what do you still need to grow this campaign even further? We're living in tough economic times. There's fees, protests. I mean, it is just tough times for South Africans.
I was saying that that small act will go a long way. Just when you pick up the trolley and you just
remember a pair.
Just remember a pair of shoes. When you buy your kids Christmas clothes, just put a pair of school shoe. And, if every South African who's fortunate enough to get a salary can just buy one pair of school shoe, we will have lots and lots and lots of school shoes. You can imagine. So even those small, you have got in our communities where you come from, we've got those business people who are running smaller spaza shops. If you can make sure that every Christmas you buy about 10 pairs of school shoes and you give to your community, you can imagine how far that will go. So is that those small, acts of kindness that will make sure that the whole, South Africa, is electrified with this movement of 1 million school shoes.
And Tabi, so speaking of that, where do people make these contributions? Can they come and drop off at a certain place? I do have their account number. We'll give them their account number that they can make contributions to. But how else can they donate besides their account number?
Well, we've got very active board. A number of them would go anywhere where when South Africans call and say, I've got a pair of school shoes, they will travel to whichever area it is. Even the MEC herself, they would travel to wherever it is to collect a pair of school shoes. But of course, they can also contact myself on 072 529 6247, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, and I want to give you this moment, MEC, to make your pledge to the South Africans that are watching. Let's take this project to the next level.
South Africa, we are calling upon all of you to remember that there are those who a school shoe to them will make their life easier. And we are calling upon you to say, as and when now you spend for Christmas, as and now you spend for festive season, remember these children, donate whatever number of school shoes that you can donate to make sure that in January when we go out, do our back to school campaigns, we have millions and millions and millions of school shoes. We believe that we can do that if all South Africans can meet us halfway. So we're calling upon all of you to buy a pair of school shoes, 10 pairs, 20 pairs, 100 pairs, and donate to us so that we can go and take to the less advantaged children across the country.
Let's get those contact details once again, Tabi. So your contact details, maybe there's a website, or where can people log on to get more information?
Well, they can still check us on Facebook. It's 1 Million School Shoes.
Okay, so it's easily accessible.
Yeah. Absolutely,
to the masses,
easily accessible. Absolutely. We are also on Twitter, 1 Million School Shoes.
All right. You know what I found interesting to hear Manamela saying that, government on its own can't do it themselves. We need to really take the next step in terms of making sure that we assist wherever we can. And of course, the Nedbank number there, the account number is 1122635346. That number once again, 1122635346. And you can make any contributions you want. MEC Tabiso, thank you so much and best of luck with this campaign. I'll be checking on you in a couple of months, maybe 3 months' time, and see how the campaign is going.
Thank you very much for having us.